1 in 6 men is going to face prostate cancer personally. That's a pretty significant number. And for those of you that have ever dealt with cancer in your families or with your friends, you know how devastating it can be. Now, prostate cancer is one of the most powerful cancers when it comes to how it metastasizes. It generally metastasizes to the bones and to the lymph nodes, which can absolutely wreak havoc and ultimately end lives right before our very eyes. So today, I want to talk about how we can start to fight back and really take matters into our own hands when it comes to actually consuming the right nutrients that can truly, and from a research-backed standpoint, mitigate the risk of prostate cancer. My name's Thomas DeLauer. I write for some of the largest wellness journals and I write for some of the largest health and fitness magazines in the world. Maybe you've seen my videos on social media, maybe you've seen some of my research topics, but today I'm talking about something different, talking about something relatively scary and that's facing us head on, and that's cancer and how we can truly start to make an impact against it. I'm talking about how we can arm ourselves with the knowledge of the right fruits, the right vegetables, and the right nutrients in general, in their true form, to make a huge impact inside our bodies. Before I can explain how any of this works, it's important that I briefly describe what the prostate is and how it plays such a critical role in the male body. You see, the prostate is a walnut-sized gland that's a huge component of the reproductive system. See, what it does is it regulates seminal fluid. So it regulates basically the transfer of sperm. Obviously, very important when it comes to a reproductive process. It sits right next to the bladder and right next to the rectum and ultimately encompasses a lot of our urethra. So how is this important? Okay, you see, as we get older, the prostate starts to grow. That's why you see a lot of times as we age, we have a lot more difficulty urinating. It's simply because the prostate starts to enlarge. In fact, remember how I said it's the size of a walnut? Well, by the time a male reaches age 60, it's generally the size of a lemon. What this is called is benign prostatic hyperplasia. You see, we have a natural growth of that tissue, and that's somewhat normal. It's been happening for a long period of time. But whenever there's exponential growth like that, there's also an exponential risk for cancer. You see, simply put, cancer is just rogue cells. It's rogue cells that grow into extra large tissue or tumors that can end up causing havoc on the body. Well, when you have tissue that grows fast to begin with, you run a higher risk of that turning cancerous. That's why the prostate is such an epicenter for cancer in the male population. Now, let's talk about how you can potentially reduce the risk of cancer. Okay, we've all talked about antioxidants. We've heard about them, we've read about them, and sometimes it goes in one ear and out the other. Because basically, we just know that antioxidant-rich foods are just healthy for us. But what are they actually doing? You see, what antioxidants do is they fight off rogue oxygen that's going around through your body that's essentially oxidizing things, ultimately making them useless or sometimes even killing them. That's just a simple way of putting it. So when we consume antioxidant-rich foods, it's reducing those rogue oxygen cells. It's reducing that reactive oxygen species. But what about particular antioxidants that can truly have an impact when it comes to cancer? You see, that's where I want to talk about that famed lycopene. We've heard about it before. We've probably been told that we should consume it in order to protect our prostate. But let's talk about the different forms of lycopene, and let me tell you something that's going to absolutely blow your mind. You see, when you consume lycopene, you might be consuming it in a synthetic form. You see, because most of the supplements out there that are containing lycopene contain lycopene in a synthetic or partially synthetic form. This means it's not as bioavailable. You see, what it comes down to is whether or not it's in a crystalline form. I'm going to get to that in a second. So you know me, I'm always talking about research. I'm always working with people to bring the most research and the most science forth on the internet and on TV. But today, I want to talk about a particular team of researchers that I've worked with out of the University of Salento in beautiful Italy. And it's led by someone by the name of Leonardo Braccio. And what we've looked at is we've looked at a truly organic source of lycopene. In fact, not just a truly organic source, the truly organic source. Literally the only organic source of lycopene that is available on the market today. The only organic source that has truly been able to get dignified as an organic lycopene. Now, what does this mean? Why is it so much more important than just an inexpensive lycopene that you can pull off the shelf or that you can just get from an everyday tomato? Well, you see, when lycopene is extracted, it's generally extracted from waste products of the tomato. It's generally extracted from the skin or just what's generally being thrown away. And what that means is you're not getting the true effectiveness. You're getting a lot of waste particles, you're getting a lot of non-essential components of that lycopene. The non-essential components that disallow that lycopene from laser targeting what needs to be laser targeted. Organic lycopene is sourced from the entire tomato. It's sourced from the entire tomato, which means it's a more expensive process, but it's more efficient. The most important thing out of all of this is when you consume a lycopene product, you are either getting it in a crystalline or a non-crystalline form. In simple terms, what that means is the body has to break down the crystalline form, adding one more step before it can actually have the truly antioxidant effects on the body. But in a non-crystalline form, it's truly in its bioavailable form, meaning the body can utilize it. The body can take it right from the supplement form and start putting it where it needs to put it. In fact, there are even research studies that are proving that organic lycopene is 100 times more effective with the anti-tumoral effect. That simply means that it's 100 times more effective at reducing tumor size, specifically when we're talking about the prostate. And just in case you're wondering, this isn't just another fly-by-night supplement company or just a fly-by-night lycopene. You see, organic lycopene is even partnering up with Pfizer. Yes, Pfizer, the pharmaceutical company, to make sure that it is a truly non-animal source, non-gelatin capsule that will actually encompass what is carrying the lycopene to your body. Meaning you are truly getting an organic, bioavailable source that has very little disconnect between the supplement and how it can affect your body. What is lycopene though? See, lycopene is just simply that red pigment that comes from a tomato. It's that red pigment that comes from fruits and veggies that you see in, well, red fruits and veggies. But you simply can't eat enough tomatoes to actually utilize that. And with the increasing amount of diotoxins and the increasing amount of environmental factors affecting our food supply, it's becoming more and more difficult to get the truly organic fruits and vegetables that we need to get the source of lycopene that we need to start mitigating that risk of prostate cancer. So why am I standing before you today? I'm standing here before you today to bring awareness to a situation that people are just not educated on right now. And why aren't they educated? Well, because the big industry and a lot of the food industry has more power than me. They have more power than me standing before you. But if this video can get out there and it can address prostate cancer and it can address how we need to be consuming the right kinds of lycopene and we need to be getting the right vitamins in our body, then we can start to spread the word that we truly can make a difference when it comes to cancer. And we can truly make a difference when it comes to our families, to our friends, and to reducing that risk and reducing the heartache that's associated with cancer. But it doesn't end there. You see, lycopene has a huge effect when it comes to Alzheimer's disease, when it comes to dementia, when it comes to Parkinson's. And Alzheimer's was the 6th largest leading cause of death in 2016. That's a pretty significant number right then and there. Couple that with cancer, particularly prostate cancer, and you have a huge, huge rate of mortality that can be controlled. Now, I'm not saying that lycopene is going to save the world, but I am saying that if we educate ourselves and we learn the true process and the true research behind organic lycopene and these non-synthetic forms, then we can truly start to make a difference. So as always, make sure that you're putting your own education first. Make sure that you truly look at organic lycopene sourced from Italy. And be sure to keep an eye out for our videos as we begin to bring more and more information to you surrounding the research and the non-crystalline form of lycopene extracted from an entire tomato, not just the waste products. My name's Thomas DeLauer, and I'm not going to stop until the world knows what we can do with food and what we can do with the proper nutrients above all else. I'll see you soon.